Halcyon Masters, Jeff here. We're going to play a little Vainglory rank today, so we found a match and we're going to go ahead and accept and get right into the draft.
The draft begins.
So we have the second pick. That means the enemy team is going to do their first ban. So with the latest patch, we've seen that Adagio is typically one of the most banned out characters because of the ability to prevent the buff comp. In addition, Blackfeather is another popular ban because of his scaling late game power. We also see Taka because of his ability to take out squishy characters, or even Glaive because of his overall power. So the enemy team picked Fortress, which is an interesting ban because Fortress usually is used to do some gap closing. So that's going to tell me the enemy team might pick a few squishy characters, even trying to go for the Blackfeather themselves, which we banned out. So instead they picked a Skye as their first choice, and that one makes good sense from why they banned out the Fortress to go with the Skye, because Fortress is able to leap back and close that gap with Skye and get the other heroes to engage on her. So we go ahead and pick Ardan for our roam, which is a good counter pick against Skye, so it cuts down on her mobility, especially with the gauntlet, and also Taka, which can burst her down quite quickly. So the enemy team picks Phinn as their roam, so they're going to try to control and keep everyone grouped up a little bit, and Glaive as their third pick. So as I was saying before, Glaive is incredibly strong at the moment. I'm guessing that it's going to be a lane Skye with a jungle Glaive going with Phinn, so they're trying to do a very powerful jungle comp. So our last pick is Ringo, so we're going to go Ringo in the lane, Taka in the jungle with myself playing Ardan. So we're going to wait here for the match to get started. Now some thoughts to think about here. So our Ringo is probably going to go weapon power, so which means our Taka is going to go crystal. A crystal power Taka is nice because he has great burst damage but not a lot of sustain, which will help us against the Skye but not as much against the Glaive on the enemy team. Also, that Phinn is going to have a lot of health, so it may help if our laner starts building up some additional damage, crit, and or maybe a bone saw later on in the game. So pretty standard build to get started. We have the contract, a flare, and a potion. That'll help me get some vision when we get down to the shop, and a potion if we take an early game fight. So at 25 seconds, our first minion spawns and we go to work. I'm going to get it down to about halfway health and then move out of range so that all the experience goes to my jungler. I'm going to work on the back camps, get those down. Taking a little bit of damage, but it's okay because I get a heal every time that our Taka ends up killing the minion. So sitting about 50% at the moment. It's alright, we're going to work on the mid healer. Again, moving out of the way. I think I still picked up the experience for that. Even though I wanted to get out a little further. I just saw Phinn go through. There's Glaive with the afterburn. He punts out Taka. We know the afterburn is down, but given my health, I don't really want to fight this early in the match. So our Ringo is rotating down from lane to help out. Their Skye may be following, but it looks like she's just going to continue to farm. So now Ringo is going to chase the Glaive. I've got my blood for blood up in about 1 second, trying to do the gap closure. Juarez got punted out back, but so he re-engages on the Phinn. Coming up, he's getting relatively low. Now that Ringo's working on him, we've got him down. So the Glaive's gonna escape because I really didn't want to do the turret dive. I'm coming through, and Skye ends up killing me. I tried to do the Vanguard, just reach level 2 in time, but I was just too low to make it actually to save my life on that one. So I'm deciding on which item I want to build. Usually I like to prioritize the Stormguard banner. I'm pretty close on gold. I'm going to wait for that one, pick it up. There's Juarez with his Taka. He just ported back. I'm going to wait for him so we can just run out together. Grab an additional pot to help me in sustain because it looks like our enemy team is going to be pushing a little bit more aggressive, trying to get that early game lead. So we're going to work on our jungle rotation again, starting off here on the top. Moving into the bottom camps. I can see that Skye and Ringo are pretty close, but still pushed up near our turret, so I'm not too worried about our laner. There is a flare coming out from the enemy team, so they're signaling that they may be rotating up into lane. So Juarez goes up and checks using his Kaiku and gets punted away by Glaive, but we're going to still try to focus on him. He uses his passive, which is once he hits an enemy, he gets a little bit of move speed, so that's why you see him hit Glaive move, which gets him out of the range of the Skye right there. So I'm going to come in. We're relatively low. I'm body blocking for our laner, and now I can just kind of move out of the way, avoid Phinn's quibble, and we end up securing the ace right there. Actually, it may not be an ace because I think we killed the Glaive a little bit too quickly and didn't get the other two characters in time. But we do get their mid and their front healers. So pick up a little bit of vision, place that down by the scout, by the jungle shop, as we see that they like to do a lot of invading early. Do see a scout trap that they place there. As a roam, now that I know that they're trying to put vision on our side of the map, I'm going to be a little bit more aware of that and continue to try to check the corners of the bush down there in the middle of the map. So our jungle rotation is going well. We're clearing the minions quite quickly. That lets us and gives us the time to go up and do a potential gank on Skye, but we do see that Phinn is up there kind of protecting him, hanging out in our bush. Roxy comes in, is able to put a lot of damage on to Phinn early. Luckily we avoid most of the series strike, or most of the forward barrage by Skye, just the angle was wrong. So Juarez gets out with just a little bit of health. I'm going to follow him down. We're going to just try to do a rotation. He's signaling that he wants to go into their backs as we took out their Phinn and also their Glaive. So there's Skye. I'm going to come in and try to steal the healer. And with a good rotation by Roxy, we end up securing the kill on Skye. So I jump over. Juarez was giving me some vision on those minions, so I could use my blood for blood to jump over the wall, start the minions, get the heal from that part, and also he didn't want to take the aggro at that point because of where his health was. So I'm going to do some shopping. He's going to start on these minions, and then we're going to go back into our normal jungle rotation. Put down a scout trap for vision because I know that they like to rotate up in this direction to try to get a gank on our laner. That'll give him a little bit more fair warning, even though he's back at the base shop right now, picking up a few items. Put down some vision in our back camps, which will help in case they end up getting that far back in our jungle, and we're going to go work on the minion miner. So capturing the minion miner is a little bit after when they capture theirs, which is going to be okay because Roxy is going to get there in time to prevent the push on our turret. It looks like we have another team fight coming up here. The quibble comes down, does hit Juarez, but we end up chunking down Phinn quite well. Skye has her ultimate. She does that, which does a good job of preventing us from pursuing Phinn and securing the kill. But the ultimate comes out from Roxy, our laner, gets that one. Looks like he's going to go down. Yep, there it is. With the cleave from Glaive. So I'm going to stay up here in the lane, just protect our turret because Skye can push pretty quickly with a combination of the forward barrage and the series strike. I'm not too worried about her getting me down as low. She actually gets a little bit too aggressive. I'm able to use my Vanguard, keep myself healthy, which does a little bit of AoE damage on her, and secure the kill with the blood for blood. I hit level 6 now. I've got a point in my ultimate, so my gauntlet is up, which is going to be a nice little power spike for us to control kind of the map a little bit. Now with the Phinn choice, he can actually just walk straight through my gauntlet without getting stunned, as that is his heroic perk. Not too worried about it because still we're cutting down on two of their more mobile heroes, which is Glaive with his afterburn and then Skye's just natural mobility.
Gold mine is almost full.
We're just going to rotate through our jungle. Looks like our mid healer and our fronts are not up quite yet. Get the Fountain of Renewal and then a couple more vision items. We do see the enemy team over there. They flare Although with their speed, not too worried, so we're just going to go ahead and clear out our fronts. I'm going to rotate up to the top, and we see Phinn and Skye up here. Glaive's probably lurking in that bush on the other hand side. So pop a flare, take a look, there's the counter flare coming through. Now as you can see, I rotate up into lane and I take a first hit on a lot of these minions. The reason I'm taking the first hit is because the way the Iron Guard contract works. If I take the initial hit on a minion and then Roxy kills it, we get an additional 25% gold, which is pretty helpful, especially if I'm up in the lane babysitting them. So their Phinn is doing a pretty good job of keeping vision on the map via flares. So what he did there was he threw a flare over the top to check to see if we were taking the minion mine. I actually miscalculated and didn't think that all three of their heroes were going to be in that one bush. So I dropped the gauntlet thinking that I could kind of catch out one or two. We are doing decently well in this fight, getting kind of low, but we end up taking down their two main carries. Phinn is trying to pursue our laner, gets a polite company on, but we ended up taking the ace on that one. So we're looking at taking this gold mine really quick, which at this point in the game should give us a pretty decent payout. So there's, yep, full gold mine, 300 gold. We're going to take a look at it. Roxy's going to work on stealing their front camps. Everyone's up. I'm thinking about taking their minion mine, just because I know that we're putting some pressure on their turret, so I can come in and do this one. Coming down, Glaive actually spots me. That's a good move by him. I'm going to use the Vanguard to give myself a little extra mobility, but he uses his afterburn to catch me and end up going down. Bummer. What I should have done on that play was actually gone in the reverse direction. So when he came in, punching me into the wall, I should have gone immediately to their backs, which would have given me a fighting shot to still get out and survive and try a little bit of a juke around Glaive. So now we're thinking about our second item. As I was chased down by him, I want to prioritize a little bit more movement speed, so I'm going to pick up the tier 2 boots, which is going to help me. I'm going to go straight into the middle of our lane because they're trying to push our turret at the moment. Roxy is there, but with Skye, Phinn, and Glaive, he's going to have a little bit of a tough time doing that. Luckily, the Vanguard and a fountain help save him. So Taka's going in, prioritizes on the Glaive, and we're able to get Skye down relatively low. Taka comes in, does an X-Retsu, secures the kill there, and we're going to work on Phinn again. So a little bit of a snowball in this game. I'm signaling to my team that I'm going to head down and take their minion mine to give our wave a little additional push. So Wars is coming down as well. With the change in 117, now the minion mine's always worth 150 gold. So by starting that and then my Iron Guard contract, that is a nice gold swing for us. So Glaive came down trying to save a little bit of his jungle shop. We take a look at this engagement, but decide against it because of their proximity to the turret. So we're going to go down, just continue to farm in their jungle, stealing a little bit more gold and putting the game in our favor. Roxy's going to work on the front doubles. And then I'm going to start to pick up some armor because of Glaive is now starting to hit a little bit harder.
Enemy team stole a minion mine.
So at this point the game is going pretty well. I'm sitting at 3, 2, and 11. We've got some solid kills. We've been able to control quite a bit of the map. We have some good vision, and we haven't lost a turret yet, which is good for this point. So we rotate down, we get our back jungles, and then I just see that Phinn pops up down near the minion mine. So we're going to go check out and see where they are. We come down into the jungle shop, check out the 2 bushes. I'm doing the face checking so that neither of my carries have to do that, as they're a little bit squishier. So we're going to move into the backfield. We're going to focus directly in on Glaive. He afterburns away, but gets slowed. And ooh, that was a really good forced accord by Phinn. So Skye rotates in. I drop the gauntlet, which actually prevents them from getting into range of their turret, and we're able to take down their team quite quickly.
Gold mine is almost full.
Enemy hero killed.
So we're going to go back to work on the minion mine, still give us the advantage with the minion wave that we're building up. This will give ours. So when you have one, minion mine, the minions just do additional damage to the hero. When you have two, then the wave starts to push. So we're going to go ahead and get to work on the gold miner. I think it's about 3/4 of the way full. This way we can, secure this. At 12 minutes, we may have another shot at getting the gold mine again before the 15-minute mark and when Kraken spawns. I pick up a Shiver Steel, which will help in two ways. One is that it'll cut down Skye's mobility, so I'm going to try to pop the Shiver Steel, use my B, and then hit Skye, which will slow her down and help both Roxy and Juarez secure the kill. It'll also help cut down a little bit on Glaive's ability to maneuver around us, but not as much for him. And additionally, the extra health then also helps my Vanguard, so when the enemy team does additional damage to my ally heroes, I can use the Vanguard and give them a little bit more of a fighting chance. So we come up into lane. I'm going to pop a flare to make sure that it's safe to move into the other bush, taking a look to make sure that not all three of them are there. And we're going to go ahead and push forward. I think we're going to try to secure this turret. It is rather low. We're going to clear out their enemy minions, and as soon as I see the barrier fall, we're going to engage on the turret. There it is. We're going to ignore Glaive for a second as we kill the turret, drop the gauntlet, which constrains Skye and Glaive, but she does a really good job with her ultimate, putting it right in the middle of the gauntlet, which kind of separates our team. So we're getting relatively low. I pop the fountain, which is going to give us a little bit more health. I'm trying to chase after Glaive. Skye ends up going down to our Ringo, and then we secure the ace. So again, going down, going to grab the minion miner. Juarez is going to come in, finish it off so we can get the additional gold, and as you can see, Roxy up at the top is pushing the turret. It's good when you can actually coordinate and shift objectives such that you can work on a turret while also securing some of the other items. So we look here, the enemy team just came up because of the death timer reduction from taking that turret. We decide to back off. We're at 14 minutes and 43 seconds. I think we're going to try to see if we can secure the gold mine quickly before the Kraken comes up. I think we can take this in about 10 seconds. So going to town on this one, put up a flare just to make sure that we're not going to get surprised by the enemy team. And as we can see, Phinn just kind of came into the very top of our screen. Going to grab a Warhorn, again synergizes well with Ardan because of the additional health. I'm now getting quite tanky and going to be hard to take down, which is going to help prevent any, it'll help me take the damage from both Skye's forward barrage. I can use myself as the body block, and Glaive is doing a lot of chunk damage as well. So our team is working on Phinn. I'm going to drop the gauntlet because I know that Skye's probably hanging out in the bush right above the minion mine. We end up securing the kill on her as she kind of skirts right into the side and gets stunned. Take the minion mine. I think this might be a good game as we have two of their guys down. We have two turrets left, and I think a lot of us are near our full builds. So we clear out the enemy minions. We're going to start to push it forward into the base and see if we can close this out as a GG. Use the Warhorn to speed us up a little bit, just hanging out so the minions can take the turret aggro instead of us. We're going to go ahead and kind of ignore Glaive for a second, even though Roxy's kind of given some poke damage on him. We take down the first turret, take down Phinn quite quickly, and now Glaive's going to retreat back to base to get some additional health. I used the Vanguard on our Ringo to kind of get him there. We decide to back off, not wanting to fight because of their ability to turtle, reheal, and then come back out. Plus, looking at our Ringo and also looking at Juarez's Taka, we're getting a little low on energy, so we want to come back and regroup. So I'm going to grab a double infusion. We're going to go to work on Kraken, see if we can grab Kraken and call it another GG. Looking good for us. Here comes Glaive. He's going to come in. He's going to try to steal it, do a little bit of damage on us. So we turn our focus away from Kraken and back onto Glaive really quick. It's almost an instant delete, and we can get back to work on Kraken.
Your team has unleashed the Kraken.
So with Kraken on our side, we're feeling good. We see Skye up here trying to clear the minion wave. I go in, my teammates are nowhere near me, and Phinn's coming in, which is not a good thing. I get pulled out with a forced accord, which cancels the gauntlet. We still get a little bit of damage on Skye, and it was just kind of fun to see, how much work we could actually do. So Juarez backs off because he knew if he used either his A or B ability, he might go directly into the enemy base, causing some massive damage and almost a possible kill on himself. So we've got a good minion wave coming up here. Kraken's right behind us. There's a quibble out by Phinn to kind of clear our wave. Glaive comes in, tries to do a little bit of damage. We end up getting stunned by a good ult by Skye. But even so, it's not going to be enough, I don't think. So Juarez goes directly in on the turret, trying to put as much damage on that one. So as you can see, we're prioritizing the Vein Crystal and the turret over trying to fight the enemy team. And that's because we have Kraken on our side, which we know is going to take some time for them to burst down, and can probably win the game even if we end up dying. So as a GG, we had a fun time playing this one. We're going to take a look at the final results. Juarez there with an impressive 13-1-9. Roxy was 6-1-14, and myself coming in with 4-2-17. I think we're going to give this one a 5-star match, even though it was a little bit of a snowball, and give everyone a thumbs up. Lastly, here are the builds.